So, today we're going to talk about knowing things. And in talking about knowing things, I'm going to need you to take a walk with me very quickly, but I'm going to need you to trust me. And in this trust, it's not a trust fall, don't worry. I see some of you looking at each other. We're not doing that today. But I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of the last time you did something for anyone. Okay, you got that image? I want you to think about if they didn't say thank you. All right, so open your eyes and let's begin. Think about the last time you held a door open for someone. Think about when they went through if they didn't even say thank you. And I used the picture of a cat because, well, we know cats. They expect everything to be done for them. They think you are there to serve them, not to be a part of the family, as some people would say. Think about when you did it for just the average person walking into the building behind you. How did you feel? What did you think of that person, and what did you think about yourself? Coming up in about 4 days is another holiday, and most of us are going to give gifts. What happens when you give a gift to your significant other and they don't say thank you? They don't take the time to appreciate it. They see all of your hard work and you're met with that face. You're met with the face of, hey, I wanted a strawberry milkshake, not a vanilla milkshake, and why did you get me a small and not a large? How do you would process that? Because that face told you all of the hard work that you did was absolutely nothing. That face tells you what you did in that moment didn't count. But did you do it because you thought you would get some kind of gratitude? Did you do it because you thought, oh, I'm going to get some accolade for being nice? Or did you do it because it was the right thing to do? Now, this flag behind me goes into the greatest borough on the planet. This is the flag of the Bronx. That's right, the is proper because it is the only borough that can have the article the in front of it. You learned something today. Take that with you. But this is where I grew up. 2 parents, not in the same home, but still 2 parents, mom and dad, did their very best to teach me what was right, how I should live, and how I should proceed. To be not just a male, but a man. And their endeavor said, when you do something, don't expect anything from anyone else. What you do is important because you have chosen to do it at that moment. You see, in my building, we were a family. Different last names, different genders, different ethnic backgrounds, different orientation, but that building served as a positive influence on how we should act and communicate with one another. You didn't let people go hungry. You didn't let people go without if you could. If you could give it to them, you did. And you didn't feel any way about it. But think about how that relates to what we do in society today. Right now, in our society today, we have cut people off because of a decision on a paper ballot. We have cut people off because they have said something that might have been offensive, probably was offensive, without giving them the moment to teach them why they were wrong. And even if they don't believe they were wrong, we have lost some of the humanity in saying, I can disagree with you without fighting with you, without calling you a name, denigrating your race, your gender, or your orientation. We have come to a point where we forgot we're human beings. And something as simple as thank you counts. And when you do it because you feel it's the proper thing to do. Thanks. If you're in the South, you might hear appreciate you. North, New Yorkers, we kind of just look at you funny and just smile real quick. But we say thank you in our own way. Thanks, plural noun. It means something more than just one step. And thank you is a complete sentence. It is where you can express gratitude. Good morning, how are you doing? Hey, thanks for asking. When you as an individual ask someone how they're doing, it's the biggest joke on the planet, is it not? When you ask someone, how are you? I want you to be honest. Do you really want to know how that person is doing? Or are you asking because it's what we do? It's what we've been taught, right? Which goes into knowledge. And I like the idea of saying knowledge as a transitive because it is ever-changing, ever-growing. You're taught when you run up into someone, you say, hey, how are you doing today? Whether or not you're thinking about that next Starbucks coffee, you're thinking about that next homework assignment, you are simply saying, I have to do this because I have to, not because I want to. Because think on this for a moment. When you say, how are you doing? And that person really begins to tell you, my dog died, my cat ran off, I dropped my phone, oh my God, my Starbucks was terrible this morning. How do you feel? It becomes, oh my God, I didn't want to go through this today. But think about that human act. Less than 2 seconds, you have helped someone through their day. When we talk to each other, what are we doing? We're just talking. We're not listening. We're not communicating. We are not thankful for the people that are right in front of us because they have the opportunity to make our lives better and we have the opportunity to make their lives better. When we say thank you, it's not for us or for the individual doing the deed. It is for us to recognize the humanity of another person that's right in front of you. Simple things. Okay, so let me go back for a second. Full disclaimer. I am not telling anyone in this room or watching to stop saying thank you. I do not want the emails from parents telling me I'm breaking tradition. It's okay to say thank you. I'm just simply saying know why you do it. Understand what the expectation is. And so when we talk, I talked a little bit about myself. I told you originally I'm from the Bronx. Told you that middle picture there, that's of mom and dad, both still with us. They did their very best to instill in me everything that I bring in front of you today. Okay, the humility thing didn't really go well, but everything else, to be able to be a giver, to be able to be a teacher and communicator, that's what they wanted. Because they never wanted me for 1 minute to think that I could not do anything. So that is how they taught me thanks. The top corner is a picture of all 3 girls. That's right. I'm in a house, I'm outnumbered, 3 women. 4 when you consider the boss, and we'll get to her in a second. All 3 of them, I am to be that example. You don't have to ask Dad. I'm here to provide and help you. Some of the lessons they like, a lot of them they don't. But that's my job, that's my role. Because of that middle picture. Now that bottom picture is of my wife and I. Now here's where it gets really scary. 1, I had to ask permission to use her picture in this presentation before we got started. 2, because she taught me thanks in a way that no one else could. 2 years ago, I was in an accident that I broke my hip, completely shattered, 15 pieces. There was concern about whether or not I would walk again. In that time frame, she dealt with all 3 of them, because you know the children always know what's right. My mom, who had came in, who's her mother-in-law, and me. In that instance, the selflessness of that, never expecting thank you, never expecting, hey, you did a really great job, not taking anything for granted about that moment. How could I not understand the value of thanks? How could I not move forward every day and try to live up to that? See, when I say I'm going to do something for someone, I mean that. And whether or not they say thank you, it's nice, it's a beautiful thing, but I do it because it's the right thing to do. And I implore you when you leave this room today, whatever your political position, whatever your gender, as an uncle of mine would say, Whether you're black, white, red, green, aquamarine, Jew, or Gentile, we have to come together. This world is shrinking incredibly fast every day, and what we do for someone else matters. And it doesn't matter because we did it for someone else, it matters because we did it for us. So I say thank you to you for coming and paying attention and putting up with all of the wonderfulness that happened in the beginning. Because I know what it takes to be here on a Sunday, especially as cold as it is in Pennsylvania. But I appreciate you for listening and giving me the opportunity. So with that, I will simply say thank you. And I will simply say it's been a pleasure to talk to you all.